Good morning, all the distinguished speakers and participant guests for Geotai 2023. My name is Young-Ju Lee. I'm a director of CCOP Technical Secretariat. First of all, I really appreciate Geotai 2023 and then DMR for inviting me to giving me a chance to present activities of net zero in our CCOP region. Today I will give a presentation on this order. So I will very briefly introduce you about the CCOP and then introduce some activities of our CCOP on net zero, and I will introduce a relatively new technological programs of net zero and then level my talk. CCOP stands for Coordinating Committee for Geoscience Programs in East and South Asia, was established in 1966 on the UN. And we became an intergovernmental organization in 1987. So at the moment, CCOP is 57 years old with our 16 member countries and then 14 cooperating countries and then also another 18 cooperating organizations. Our activity on net zero and carbon neutrality, first of all, global climate change and warming is quite serious problems, and UN SDG define on the number 13, sustainable development, we have to take urgent action, to combat this climate change. But even the situation, our problem of climate change is really very serious. For example, as you can see, we are facing a big threat globally of big wildfires. So wildfires are reported everywhere in the world, such as Maui has a big wildfires which cause a total death toll is something more than 100, and more than 400 people are missing. And Spain, Greece, Australia, Canada, all of our countries, our global world is facing a really big threat. And also not only the wildfire, we have experienced very big drought and extreme heat waves and heat typhoons. So those problems cause another issue, which is a heatflation. What is heatflation? Heatflation is a combined word of heat and inflation. So those extreme heat waves cause our everyday daily food have some problems and instability in market. So cause some big inflation. For example, quite recently, as you may have heard, India, there's a very big inflation of some basic everyday food, such as tomato. The price of tomato in India rise up something like 10 times. So they cannot eat tomato anymore, which is their daily food for long times. And 1 month ago, UN Secretary General Mr. Guterres announced the era we are living is not a global warming era. It is something like era of global boiling, which is really very big, important threat of our Mother Earth and human.
The era of global warming has ended.
So CCOP has been working on those to solve those issues, how we can sequestrate carbon dioxide, and then how we can reach the net zero goals. We have a project called the CCSM, is Carbon Capture and Storage and Mapping Project, which has been done year of 2013 and to be continued 2016. And at the time, our 11 member countries get together to do a workshop and conference. And through this project, we have an enhanced capacity building of CCS technology. And then we set up the guideline of carbon dioxide storage in our region. And more recently, actually this year, March this year, we have a big conference which is called International Petroleum Technology Conference. Under this conference, CCOP together with AAPG convened a very important session on CCUS, prospectus and technology. So I, together with director of AAPG, chairing the session on planning and monitoring and carbon dioxide and sequestration in our region and how we can cope with, tackle the net zero goals. And more recently, we get involved a project which is led by a very decent company called Global CCS Institution in Australia. So Global CCS Institution would like to collaborate with the CCOP on the SECA. What is SECA? SECA stands for Southeast Asia CCS Accelerator. So they would like to do a project which is really impact on how we could accelerate a CCS technique and regulation and policy in our region. So of course, quite recently, May this year, we do have a very successful first SECA workshop, which is in Bangkok. At the time, more than 200 people together all over the world. And we have some discussion and seminars and workshops on CCS regulation and policy and geological storage of carbon dioxide in our region. So for this presentation, actually this workshop deals with all the countries in CCOP, but I more focused on the fact that which is discussed and then tackled in Thailand. So Thailand, I found out through this workshop that you have a very robust plan and then a technology and net zero goals and target and 2050 and 2065, which is very good kind of framework. We have to tackle this one. But actually in terms of policy and regulation, Thailand is not very well ready to implement this CCS technology because there's no incentives for the CCS activities and implementation, and also there's no robust carbon market in Thailand. But this kind of situation is same to other CCOP member countries. And also through this workshop, and then Global CCS Institution figure out the suitable Beijing of our CCOP region to store carbon dioxide. And they found out Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand, and Vietnam, Philippines could be the kind of priority on potential of carbon dioxide sequestration in subsurface area. So this map illustrating, showing that the suitable basins in our CCOP region. The green color is more suitable basins, and then also the brown one is also possible basin for store and sequestrate carbon dioxide. And also Global CCS Institution analyzed all the emission source of carbon dioxide in our CCOP region. Of course, it is industry and complex and factories such as cement, chemicals, power plant, refinery, and steel and gas processing, etc. And matching those emission site to previous suitable basins, they come up with the idea that the potential cluster to having a carbon dioxide sequestration. So in Thailand, we have a high prospect for multiple CCS network in Gulf of Thailand. So they found out that Patani Basin and Malay Basin in offshore area could be a very high potential to sequestrate carbon dioxide. And this SICA workshop will be continued more years, and then CCOP will be a partner of Global CCS Institution on those works. And CCOP will have a project of using geothermal energy sources, which is clean energy and then green energy, to targeting net zero. So from 2013, CCOP, supported by Geological Society Survey of Japan and JICA, have a project on ground source heat pump system. So ground source heat pump system, as you may know, is using a heat source from our underground region. So so of course, mostly in our CCOP region, this system is applied to cooling our houses or some buildings and so on. So far, we have been applied and then facilitate this system 3 different sites, 2 in Thailand and 1 in Vietnam, which is of course very successful. And we also preparing the energy transition, which is quite important to reach the net zero. So in order to do energy transition and net zero, we definitely need some resources, which is critical minerals. So what is the critical minerals? Critical minerals are natural resources which is essential to the cutting edge technology and our economy and to reach the especially net zero. So according to the World Bank, we need a more than 500% of those critical minerals in order to reach our goal of net zero. So we, in previous times, 2021, CCOP was invited very important forum on critical minerals, which is organized by US Geological Survey and Geological Survey of Canada and Geoscience Australia. So I, as a director of CCOP Technical Secretariat, was invited and to give a presentation of the keynote on our activities and then some mining sectors of CCOP and then status of the critical minerals in our CCOP member countries. And as you may know, our CCOP region has a huge potential of those critical minerals because CCOP region is located in the junction of three very global metallogenic domains. So some important critical minerals such as nickel and tin and REE, our region and our member countries as a top level reserves on some important critical minerals. And from last year, actually early 2022, we have tried and submitted the proposal on critical minerals. So actually we already submitted our proposal, which is titled Critical Mineral Management and Strategy for Sustainable Environment. We have submitted this proposal already to the ASEAN and AKPMT. And this project is on the capacity building and training and education of critical minerals and knowledge sharing, of course, and then some site surveys and some technology platform setup is also included. So this project proponent is CCOP together with Geological Agency of Indonesia, and then implementing organization agency is also of course CCOP and together with KIGAM. KIGAM stands for Korea Institute of Geoscience and Mineral Resources. So it is not fully actually approved by the AKPMT and authority, but we have very high potential, possibility to be this project to be accepted. So this project has 4 different pillars. So first one is knowledge improvement. As I already mentioned, we do have many workshops, trainings, and on the critical minerals and basic methodologies and so on. And also we will have a training on site using new technologies. And then also we try to set up smart technology platform throughout this project. And then finally, we also try to compile and analyzing the status of critical minerals in our CCOP member countries and make some very good inventories and databases about critical minerals. Okay, from now on, I would like to introduce a new technology which can lead us to carbon net zero. So, what is ERW, Enhanced Rock Weathering? It is the new technology to carbon dioxide removal from our farmland. By what? By using a calcium and magnesium rich silicate rocks and to have accelerate the weathering in our farmland. So basically we use the silicate minerals, silicated rocks, and to spread those grinded rock samples in our farmland and to secure carbon dioxide. How it works? Enhanced rock weathering principle is once we spread our some grinded rocks and powders in our farmland, there's a rainfall will absorb some carbon dioxide, and also there's indigenous carbon dioxide in our farmland. So once the magnesium calcium rich silicate rocks are spread in this farmland, they have some chemical reaction to make a calcium carbonate. So by doing that, we can reduce and remove carbon dioxide in our global Earth. So we have to be careful to select the rocks which is very good for reacting and weathering processing and then make a calcium or magnesium carbonate. So throughout the researches so far, they have found out that the basalt could be the best option to do some enhanced rock weathering technology in our farmland. So capacity of 1 tons of basalt, if it is applied to our farmland, we could sequestrate 0.3 tons of carbon dioxide in our farmland. And there's also some kind of estimate of the effectiveness of this enhanced rock weathering system in global world. And I would like to introduce this slide because enhanced rock weathering system is not a status of research. Quite recently, Microsoft invest this technology to reduce carbon dioxide. So it means this technology is already in the market, or at least very high level of TRL, I think. And I tried to figure out the possibility of apply this important technology in Thailand. And The answer is yes. You have a potential rocks in your region, in Thailand, and you have many farmland and rice paddies and so on. So this technology, I think, could be applied in Thailand to reach a net zero in your land. In conclusion, CCOP is a very unique intergovernmental and international organization and in our region. And throughout the collaboration with the member countries and then cooperating countries, we try to reach a net zero. So one of the projects we have been done is CCS, and then we are now working on the SICA project, and we also has been working on geothermal resources, and we're trying to having a project on critical minerals, which is a really very essential part of the net zero. And also today I introduce you a possible new technology which can reach a net zero, which is enhanced rock weathering technology, which can be applied in Thailand, I think. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Sawadee krap.